So my name is Anisha Kurakulasuriya. I'm an orthodontics resident at USC, and I'm also a part-time dancer. I first got involved in dance actually in college, a lot later than most people. I did cheer in high school, and I actually only did it because my parents thought it was good for college applications. So they're like, okay, since it helps you, you can do it. But other than that, I didn't really do dance growing up. I just did it when I went to college. I just found a Bollywood dance team that I loved, and I joined it. I think I grew up without having a lot of Desi people in my life. Like I went to a high school where I didn't really have that many South Asians. So when I went to college and I had that Bollywood dance team, I felt like I'm having this opportunity to get in touch with my culture where I never really had that before. So I think that's kind of what gravitated me towards that. And I'd always grown up loving Bollywood movies. I just like never really had a group or people to share that love with. I was an undergrad, pursuing a neuroscience degree and in the hopes of getting into dental school. So I did the Bollywood companies when I was on my gap year, and then I went to dental school the following year. And then I kind of had to put a hold on all the Bollywood stuff. Then when I went up to SF, I was like, okay, I'm in dental school. I probably should put an end to this whole dance thing. And then I was there and I just really, really missed dancing. And I was just like, oh man, like it's so hard to just go from having it be such a big part of your life to just never doing it at all. Then that was when one of my friends actually had a friend who was a full-time worker at Oracle, but she was on the Golden State Warriors dance team. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know you could be a professional dancer and still have another career or school on the side. And I ended up doing the San Francisco 49ers NFL cheerleading team, as well as the Golden State Warriors dance team. I feel like that's where I gained the most growth as a dancer. Even while I was pursuing a career in healthcare, how much pushback I got initially when I wasn't in dental school yet. Like my passion or my dream was to go into dental school, and my parents only saw me dancing and they didn't see me at nighttime like working on applications or emailing schools. So I don't know, it was kind of hard. But once I got that acceptance, I was like, oh my God, I was home free. I ended up touring with this YouTube celebrity. Her name's Lily Singh, and she's a big creator now. But because I've already gotten to dental school, they were totally fine with me going on tour with her for a couple months. But if I hadn't gone into dental school, like I'm pretty sure I would have gotten a lot of fallback for going. So I think for both teams I was on, I think the fact that I had a Bollywood background was actually really celebrated. I came in a time to the NBA and NFL where like all the teams were really pushing diversity on their squads. The Golden State Warriors dance team actually approached me and asked me if I wanted to choreograph their Bollywood night. And that was amazing because before, what they had done was they would kind of just worn like these multicolored lengas. They did it every year, but then they just did cheer to it. So when they asked me, I was like, yes, like this is, oh my God, it's going to be great. Like I have so many ideas for this. This is like what I've wanted, is blending both worlds that I love and in doing it in a way that's not appropriating the culture. Initially, they asked me to do J-Ho, and I was like, this is, I don't know, like if this is like a well-known thing, but most Desis do not view J-Ho in a way that's favorable. They feel like it's not a representation of Bollywood. And I agree. It's like a westernized version of what people think Bollywood should be, but it's not Bollywood. And there's so many amazing Bollywood songs that could be used. So I had to really, like kind of tell the organization and stand my ground, this is not something that I agree with. Like, please let me choreograph an authentic Bollywood song and I will do it justice. Bollywood is not just about the dance, it's about the entire story that you're telling, including the costumes, including your expressions, including every aspect. And then when it came down to actually executing the choreography, I had to change it up a little bit because obviously these dancers are not trained in Bollywood or South Asian styles. I tried to do it in a way where not appropriating the culture, but I'm still doing it justice to where someone else who's Desi or someone else who's a Bollywood dancer would still appreciate the fact that, we are doing the style justice. Then when we actually had the Bollywood night, it was received really, really well by both South Asians and non-South Asians in the audience. I felt like this was like a good step in the right direction for other teams to also follow and maybe try to incorporate Bollywood or even other styles, like other culture styles, in a way that is appreciating it and not appropriating it. I think dance 100% allowed me to bring my cultural identity to a big part of my personality. Like, I feel like if I didn't have that outlet to bring that out of me, I probably never would have. I feel like once I got that in college, like that whole side of me that had been suppressed for so long just came by full force. Like I emerged in Bollywood. I was like going to all these South Asian events. Like all my friends are South Asian. I think Desi people make up such a large portion of the world's population that it's just crazy to me that they're not represented like that in entertainment. It's crazy. It's just crazy to me. Not just South Asians, but Asians in general. Like we are such a big part of the world, and for us to only be such a small part of entertainment and to not have representation growing up was just really strange to me. It always kind of made me feel like I was, I'm not the norm. I'm not the pretty person because I'm not white and blonde. And in order to prevent other generations and other people from having that same experience that I have, we need more representation, and not just of Desis, of every single culture. There should be a place for us in society other than the small stereotypes that these Western directors and producers and shows have allotted us.